Micah chapters 2 and 10. Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted. It shall destroy you, even with a sore destruction. All praises to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem Charaka Kodash. Double honors to our elders and our apostles of Great Millstone, and a salute to all the sincere elect out there. Aria, back at you with another lesson, land backing off my previous video on watch the devil stroke dirty heathens with your food. And this is a quick couple of TikTok videos on people giving their testimonies, their experiences with one particular Texas Roadhouse, but like I say, this is all across the board what we're dealing with, and we ain't gonna act like we're surprised because we're not. Well, for the things that a lot of us have seen in our journey coming up. But let's check out a couple of these quick TikTok videos. Like I say, Loud Willing be a quick video, straightforward and to the point. Without further ado.
New Rochelle location, Texas Roadhouse. Please do not go there. 0 out of 10. Bugs all over the rice, bugs in the drink, bugs on the side of platters. This is beyond disgusting, non even servable. Texas Roadhouse, please do something about this because this isn't even content that I do, but this is just disgusting.
I just wanted to give some receipts because it wasn't an overstatement, it wasn't an exaggeration when we was talking about what's happening over there in America. Right? The viral social media claims alleging that Texas Roadhouse workers intentionally tamper with food for black customers and are on and are online. Right? The question is, people may have, if for those that maybe believe it was a hoax, right? Got people there going and doing their due diligence and filming what they've experienced. Their testimonies are coming out. Right? What happened? Right? A screenshot from a Facebook group named White and Proud. Right? Sounds like the Proud Boys to me. The Most High is making a separation of this is like I say, the video what was said in one of the TikTok video was that this is biological warfare. This is T, right? This is the T word, through the food. Right? What did they do when they was getting when they were sieging out a lot of these the enemy in warfare? In warfare, they usually attack the water and the food. And who's behind this? Mosai is making a separation. We're gonna get into some scriptures. Right? The screenshot from a Facebook group named White and Proud went viral in August 2026. Right? We're still in August now. Right? In the year of apostate sellouts and agents. Right? Mosai is making a separation, man. You know what I mean? It's all the lynching that's been taking place. They're comparing the lynching that's been the recent lynching, about 4 within the last 2 weeks, comparable, on the whole, comparable to what was happening with in Texas, Texas 1920s, or you might say 1850s to the 1970s. It's comparable with the lynching that's taking place, comparable to that. So the Mosai stirring thing is a shake up, right? And also they're setting traps for people, Jakes. We know what's happening with the CIA and the Centrinians and the FBI. We know that they're the KKK in disguise anyway. Mosai is making sure people get the message that you are in hell. This is not your rest. And if people want to get too comfortable, now is people, because people are very comfortable, right? So he's making sure they're not too comfortable, using his left hand side sword to get into your food, because people like to be around they're too comfortable around these dirty base men, too comfortable. Mosai shaking it up, right? When he attacks the food, then everybody has to eat, right? The Post claimed that a sacred group of more than 400,000, not 400, 400,000 members consisted of workers from Texas Roadhouse and Logan's Roadhouse, discussed contaminating food for black diners. Like I say, everybody eats, and Jake be way too comfortable in Babylon. being fed by the enemy, and that's part of the curses. But now we're waking up, we're shaking the dust off our feet, and we're coming to know who we are, and we got to really get to back to our correct way of living, right? And which I went into yesterday. The correct way is to learn how to look after yourself. If you respect yourself, if you don't respect yourself, then you can't respect nobody else. And we know that the devil, we don't expect him, we don't expect nothing better from the heathens, right? They ain't guided by no laws or the devil. So the Post claimed that a sacred group of more than 400,000 members consisting of workers from the Texas Roadhouse. Yeah, and we're just talking about Texas Roadhouse, but I've been around these people long enough, right? They do it right across the board. If the cameras are not on them, or if they think that people ain't watching them, they will do it. The type of things I've seen, right? And the video yesterday where a woman, her testimony, one of the TikTok videos, says she worked in the catering service and people's hygiene are below low, very low, right? You might even say nasty. Workers in Texas Roadhouse and Logan Roadhouse, right? Two of these major restaurants over there, sound like they're very popular. Discuss contaminating food for black people. Over here, it might be some of these other ones. McDoodle, Kentucky Fried Chicken, Wendy's, probably comparable with them. You might even put what's the other one? You got a lot of these unidentified meat places. You know, we're well aware of these other places. What's the other one? Just to name a few. But like I say, we watch these people, right, with an eagle eye, because they don't fear the Lord. Amplified by widely, reading on, amplified widely, because I'm just bringing out some receipts, right? People bringing out their TikTok videos, and I've got some TikTok videos to look at, on platforms like TikTok, X, Twitter. Rumor sparked intense backlash and calls for boycotts. Yeah, the Most High is shaking things up. He's making a separation. And he's coming through all different ways. They're frying the kitchen sink. They want us to know, well, the Spirit of the Lord wants us to know who our enemies are. And we're too damn, a lot of us are getting complacent. And I'm speaking to myself first and foremost. We can't be complacent. This is not our rest. Right, let's carry on. This is real. This is not no movie right here. This is real. The woman's filming these nasty bugs, and it's funny because oh boy, now it's just come to me. Last night vision. What you think it was about? It was about critters and bugs and oh, that was last night. That was a spirit. So the spirit had me do a video right on this now. The dream that I had last night about critters and bugs, and we don't become too comfortable around these heathens. They're the lowest of the low. They're the basement, which I went into that yesterday.
Roadhouse, please do not go there. 0 out of 10, bugs all over the rice, bugs in the drink, bugs on the side of platters. This is beyond disgusting, non-even servable. Texas Roadhouse, please do something about this, because this isn't even content that I do, but this is just disgusting.
Right, and yeah, there was these reality TV programs that became popular around the CCC, the times when CCTV started to come around, and it became popular and booming, and they was doing movies on people being caught in the act when they don't believe that they're being formed. Other series is like Watch Dogs and other kind of ones like that, and they was filming them and catching them red-handed. Some of them was getting them sandwiches that you might see in some of these supermarkets today. Sandwiches similar to that. You know, if you're which we all have to be mindful when you watch the devil, and you know, obviously we're gonna pray over our food, but even more than that, right? Take precautions and watch the devil and watch the heathens getting sandwiches and stuffing them down them butty, then in trousers, and pulling them out and packaging them up and giving them to customers. Places like McDoodle, Kentucky Lie, right? Places like that and others as well. You know, there's a whole heap. It's booming. The catering service, the fast food catering service is booming. because it's quick and easy, and people are just want convenience now. But once again, we have to be mindful we're around these base men. Nothing has changed about them. They may have a certain way of pronouncing, or how you say, presenting themselves, but they're still Job 30. They're still the lowest of the low. Base men. They're still base men. They're just, and women that present themselves as something proud, something like there's something, when they're not. They're base. They're low. So the word, I want to get into that word, what we looked at, or the scripture that we looked at, Micah 2:10, when it talks about this is not our rest, it shall pollute you. So the word pollute, once again, I did bring it out earlier, but to make land, water, the word pollute means to make land, water, air, or the environment dirty, unsafe, or harmful. Yeah, because no doubt brothers have had experience with they call that food poisonings, right? There's things that you get you could avoid it, man. Certain food poisonings, certain kinds of viruses. Since I've been away, and this is a testimony, since I've been away and I've kept my hands away, I've kept my distance, being in that Jehovah's Witness around Christians, and they love shaking hands, and some of them may even try and give you a kiss and all of that, right? Which is another way where you pass on diseases and viruses, touching people, physically touching people, being up too close to people, right? So since I've been kept my distance from him, I haven't had those things. That's my testimony, right? So being away from being polluted, there's certain things you may get, but nothing like what I used to get. Nowhere near comparable to the things I used to get, right? Being around unhygienic people, and it's not only that, there's a vibration, there's an energy that they give off as well. So we've got another clip to look at, and then we're going to bring out some scriptures.
They don't wash every day. They walk into public spaces barefoot. They allow their pets on the kitchen counters while they're cooking. They feed their pets with the same fork they're eating out of. They kiss.
Yes, they do. Right? I've been invited round for dinner. Hey, want to come round for dinner this weekend? Right? And they got dogs, and most of them love up them dogs. Right? And I ain't just making this up. This is apparently I'm not the only one that's noticed. Apparently other people have noticed, which is it's good. It's good that other people have noticed.
They allow their pets on the kitchen counters while they're cooking. They feed their pets with the same fork they're eating out of. They kiss their pets with their whole mouth. Don't brush their teeth afterwards. Go probably kiss their partner and their kids. Why are we surprised about nasty white people being nasty?
I mean, there you have it. That's the title of this video. Why are we surprised? Right? It's just a wake-up call. So let's end with a couple of scriptures. We need a wake-up call. Right? We're not surprised. Haggai chapters 2 and 8 says, let's start with 6. Says, for thus saith the Lord of hosts, yet once it is a little while, and I will shake the heavens and the earth and the sea and the dry land. Yeah, that's it. We're getting shooken up. This is what's happening. We're being shaken up. For those that are very complacent or forgot, some of us may be even in this truth, but really the 2/3, right, in Babylon and over here in the mother of Babylon and even around the world, that don't know who their enemies are, right? We've been pushing that for years now. Our elders have taught us, right? So we're mindful, but he's letting a lot of you ninjas get lynched, comparable with what was happening in the 18th century. That's what's happening. It's to shake you up, right? Being loving to be around them, and they're the same ones that was lynching you, right, in your past life, potentially lynching you, your sisters, your daughters. They was coming around outside your house with the KKK mask on, with the burnt cross, and telling you to come out or bring out your daughter, right, or your son, so that we can essay them. And you're going and sitting down next door to them in Texas Roadhouse, and they're serving you. But it's and if you what else would your enemy do with your food if he knows he's your enemy? You just got to know so that's the Most High, the Spirit of the Lord. He's shaking, he's shaking it up, man. He's waking you up, right? Every week now there's a lynching, right, and a shooting, right? The Centurions are shooting the ninjas, grabbing up the black woman, them doing all kind of heinous things with them, and shooting them too. So it's a shake up, right? Haggai 2:7. I will shake all nations, and the desire of all the nations shall come, and I will fill this house with glory, saith the Lord of hosts. Yeah. So the elect are going to run. We're going to run. We're going to put on them running shoes and run to Yahweh Bashim Yoshai. We're going to do a Usain Bolt. I'm talking about the elect. But for those that too slow, they're going to get left behind. Right? And the run to the spiritual temple, which that's going into Revelation 11, to be taught where there's no heathens will be welcome. Right? There's no heathens welcome in the spiritual temple. It's measured and it's shut to the heathens, right? The Goyim nations, which, as we know, the Most High is shaking everything up. He's making a separation. That's what we're seeing now, right? And I will shake all the nations, and the desire of all the nations shall come, and I will fill this house with glory, saith the Lord of hosts. Yep. The silver is mine, right? That's his elect. And the gold is mine, saith the Lord of hosts. That's his jewels, his elect. We're running, making a separate. He's making a separation for us to separate from these heathens. They're setting traps. There's so much that's really going on. They're setting traps for the lorry drivers, right? Trying to get them caught up so that they can get them in a dark corner and lynch them too, right? All things like that is coming out. Setting traps, and you got the what's them far right neo-Nazis that they're finding out that are working for the police, right? Neo-Nazis working for the Centurions, right? Where else are they, right? As we know, anyway, it's not like we didn't know. KKK have every position, right? Judges, lawyers, your doctor, right? Which is the falsifiers. They got every position. The KKK in Babylon and over here in the mother of Babylon. So they're letting us know, or the Spirit of the Lord is letting us know, there's a separation. He's shaking things up. The glory of this letter's house shall be greater than of the former, with the Lord of hosts, right? That's the Lord of hosts. La Yahweh Sabata Awaf in the Hebrew. His name and Lord of hosts. Yahweh, Lord of hosts. Yeah? La Yahweh Tazaba Awaf. Right? The glory of this letter's house shall be greater than of the former, saith the Lord of hosts. And in that place I will give peace with the Lord of hosts, because he's making a separation, separating us from these heathens. For those that have eyes to see, we'll take the necessary steps. Gonna run to be protected, separated from these heathens, right? And now we're gonna more than just be separated. We're gonna have to start looking after ourselves better, as our elders and our apostles have been telling us to do. Not having to. Yes, the curses say we have to go to the devil for want of all things, but there's more wisdom that we have now, more that we have that we can take steps to separate ourselves via cooking our own food. Elders have been talking about that too. Not only just fast food, but nutritious food that can feed the body, mind, and not just fill up the belly, but feed with the minerals and the vitamins, feed the body and the blood, right, without causing heart diseases. So these are the type of things that we're starting to do. Let me shut the window. Yeah, as we know, that leaves me even the animals are sometimes waking up in the mornings and the bird them are crying, man. Feel like they're crying, come on all you elect, come on, let's get this thing popping, man. The animals are crying too. That's not exaggeration. Romans chapters 8. The creatures be groaning, sorrowing and groaning too for the revealing or the I don't want to butcher it. Let's get it. It's funny because I was doing this video and it's like the bird is like they're talking to me. Get that scripture. Like the bird, them talk to me, Akim. Right? Anyway, let's get it. Let's get it. They don't want me to leave this one out. So Romans chapters 8. I intend, and it's a quick video. I don't want to make it long. I intend it to be much shorter than this, but let's qualify what I just said. Romans chapters 8. Let's find that scripture. Yeah, there it is. 21. Because the creature itself also shall be delivered from the bondage of the corruption unto the glorious liberty of the children of thy power. Yeah, of God. So that's us, the elect, right? We're groaning because the creature itself we're going to be set free. We're hoping and praying, Lord willing, we continue with what you're doing. We're going to be delivered from the bondage of the corruption of this unclean place, abominable place. Corruption unto the glorious liberty, right? To be set free of the children of thy power, to be back under the power and protection of our power. For we know that the whole creation groaneth and travaileth in pain until now. Even the animals, man. Right? Sometimes you look in the animal's eyes. It could be anyone. Could be a land creature. Could be a bird, and they're depressed too. 23. And not only they, but ourselves also, which have the first fruits of the Spirit, the elect. Even as, because we was there in the beginning, the first fruits helping to put this earth together via the creation, via the blueprint of Yahushua, right? The first fruits, the Elohim, the powers, the angels, we have a connection, right? We shall be in league, and we are sensing that we're coming back to that via. I'm doing this video right now on the getting the right type of appetite, and the elders been going in a lot about that, right? Certain things that what we're doing to ourselves, we're stopping, we're putting an end to that, right? Because them devils are trying to throw where they're frying the kitchen sink. But are we willing to pick up the kitchen sink and throw it back at them? The elect will do that, right? Not only they, but ourselves also, which have the first fruits of the Spirit, even we ourselves groan within ourselves, waiting for the adoption, and the animals too, right? Sea animals, land animals, air animals, critters are all waiting for us, the elect, to be set free from bondage, so that we can rule again in righteousness under Yahushua, under King David, for the adoption, to wit, the redemption of our body. We're looking forward, and we're hoping to be set free. Once again, that includes the animals too. They're cheering us on. So let me go to this one. Most High shaking everything up. All right. When you start thinking about, hold on a minute, how petty are these heathens? How petty can you get? Yeah, they are. They really are that petty. They will spit in your food. Like I say, we knew this when we was growing up, right? Some of us who are a little bit younger, your parents, when they was growing up, most of them used to cook. They never used to go to these fast food. For the most part, they never wasn't dealing with none of that fish and chips and fast food thing. Our parents, definitely our grandparents, wasn't dealing with that. We had a family. We had a chair and table to sit around. The grandmother or the mother would prepare one wholesome meal. We all sat around and we didn't bother with none of these nasty, abominable foods. That the scripture does tell us that we should go to our enemy for the want of all things. But once again, we went through that and we're coming out of that. Right? We're putting all that behind. But our grandmothers and our mothers and our fathers, we was always in the kitchen doing their thing. Even you got men that are, Jake men, Judah and Benjamin. They're handy when they get in out the kitchen. They know what to throw down, bro. So we never needed to go to these people, bro. We never needed to go to these people. Now we're finding out what we always expected anyway. We always expected this anyway, and we ain't surprised. So Matthew 25, this is what's happening now. And 31, the point's in 32. When the Son of Man shall come in his glory and all the holy angels with him, then shall he sit upon the throne of his glory, and before him shall be gathered all nations, and he shall separate them one from the other. Right? All these Goyim nations, we're finding out, which we knew. Once again, we knew. We're just getting reminded. These Goyim, low base, nasty, low base people, right? That pick their nose in the kitchen and eat it, or pick their nose and rub it in the thing in your food. Pick their fucking ass, right? Like I say, I've actually seen it, right? Do it maliciously because they're that low and they're that petty, right? Yeah, and like I say, some of these documentaries, you need to be reminded, man. The Most High going to reveal everything anyway, what goes on behind the scenes in the catering service, right? And in this video, which we ain't going to be able to, show all of it, but in this video, you had people coming forward and saying, yeah, I've seen what they do. I've seen what they do in the catering service. One of the videos yesterday I put it in there. I've seen how nasty these people are. Grabbing up sandwiches. You look in some of these shops, you don't know where these foods are, how they got there. What people was doing with their nasty hands and putting it down their pants and then putting it in, making it into, they've got all the things they need, the products that they need to make it look respectable, but they're still base men, right? When the Son of Man shall come in his glory and all the holy angels with him, then shall he sit upon the throne of his glory, and before him shall be gathered all nations, and he shall separate them one from another, right? Separate the wool from the sheep, right? And the Edomites are typically they're the goats. They're the goats. But then you got goats, you got tares among us as well, who want to blend in, which a lot of them look like they're actually speckled bird, but they're chocolate coloured Edomites. And then you got heathens, or Edomite heathens, how you say it, spiritual heathens, right? Wolf in sheep clothing, that, amongst the brethren. Wolf in sheep clothing amongst the brethren, exploiting the brethren. So that's the Most High is aware of that as well. He's gonna have to make a separation, right? And before him shall be gathered all nations, and he shall separate them one from another, as a shepherd divideth his sheep from the goats. He's gonna make a separation. This is what's happening. He's gonna separate all the wicked or the sincere from the malicious, the ones that want to exploit the sincere. Like I say, my journey coming up was the Most High give me that journey for a reason, or that experience for a reason. People exploiting other people because of positions and authority and power and greed and lust. Most High Yahushua is aware of it, and he's gonna come and he's gonna separate and he's gonna put an end to that. But right now, see, that's a whole nother video. But yeah, food, everybody eats food. So the Most High is shaking everything up, right? He's gonna make a separation. So that's really the point. That's the point I wanted to bring out on what's happening, why these things are happening. And it's just food, yeah, but everybody yam food, right? And it's right across the board, maybe even more than what you think. That's why our elders be telling us, man, get into your own, do your own thing, do the right thing. Anyway, enough said. It's just reminders, Akim. the vision I had yesterday, man. This is giving me back. This is giving me memories right here. The vision I had yesterday. It's giving me memories.
New Rochelle location, Texas Roadhouse. Please do not go there. 0 out of 10, bugs all over the rice, bugs in the drink, bugs on the side of platters. This is beyond disgusting, non even servable. Texas Roadhouse, please do something about this because this isn't even content that I do, but this is just disgusting.
This is disgusting. So we've got one more precept. I'm just going to touch on this one. Job 14, and it's a must. And 3 says, Job chapters 14 and 4, who can bring a clean thing out of an unclean? Not one. And these are base men. All right, these are base. So they can't bring nothing clean. They wouldn't even want to. They don't care to. All right, here's the last one. Job 30 and 8. They were children of fools, children of base men. They were viler than the earth. We're going to get into that word in a future video, viler. Maybe even with a particular sit down. So they are vile, nasty, vile, corrupt. Right? Enough said. All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Harakah, Kodash. Double honors to our elders and our apostles of Great Mill. Stand up to us is truth. Salutes to the sincere elect out there. We are on to the next.
They don't wash every day. They walk into public spaces barefoot. They allow their pets on the kitchen counters while they're cooking. They feed their pets with the same fork they're eating out of. They kiss their pets with their whole mouth. Don't brush their teeth afterwards. Go probably kiss their partner and their kids. Why are we surprised about nasty white people being nasty?
Ooh! So we ain't surprised. We ain't surprised. It's just reminders. To the next one.